Frank Delgado is 68. He's a retired mechanical engineer in Boise, Idaho, and he spent 41 years building a $1.2 million portfolio. Last year, his advisor finally let him buy a little gold, 2%, and of course, an ETF. Frank asked about silver too. His advisor called it industrial volatility and changed the subject. This week, gold hit $44.90 an ounce. Frank's gold is up, but the metal his advisor talked him out of is the one set to move the hardest from here, and that wasn't an accident. I'll show you who built that advice, why it's wrong, and the 4 moves to make before Friday. I'm Eric with Summit Metals. We do the work institutions do for themselves in a way people like you and me can actually use. Now, before I get into it, everything I'm about to walk you through, the ratio chart, the allocation targets, all 4 moves are in this free PDF brief. It's the first link in the description. Grab it now so you can follow along and keep it after. Here's the thing no one told Frank. The reason he owns gold and no silver isn't a decision he made. It's a decision that was made for him years before he ever sat down with an advisor. The financial advisory industry splits metals in 2. Gold gets labeled the safe one, the store of value, the respectable monetary metal, the diversifier you're allowed to own. Silver gets labeled the speculative one, the industrial commodity, the volatile cousin, the thing you flag and, of course, move past. That split is taught. It's in the CFP curriculum. It's baked into wirehouse training, and it lives in model portfolios. The pre-built allocations every advisor pulls from, which carry a token gold sleeve and, almost universally, 0 silver. So when Frank's advisor said industrial volatility, he wasn't being malicious. He was repeating what he was trained to say. The system spoke for him. And here's why the system is built that way. The advisory industry is paid on the assets it manages inside products it controls, like ETFs, managed sleeves, and paper. Physical silver doesn't fit. It leaves the building. It isn't in their, quote, fee stream. Industrial volatility is the polite phrase that keeps your money in the products that pay them. The volatility flag isn't really about protecting you. It's about a risk scoring model that penalizes the asset so it never makes it into your portfolio. Here's why this is a gold and silver story, and why the exact gap they engineered into Frank's account is about to become the best setup in the metals market. Start with number 1, gold at $44.90, silver at $75. Divide them and you get that gold to silver ratio. How many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. Right now, it's around 60. That number is a tell. Not about price, about where you are in the cycle. Across the modern era, the ratio has averaged somewhere in the 50s to 60s, but it doesn't sit still. And how it moves tells you which inning you're in. Early in a metals bull, gold leads. The big money moves first. Central banks, institutions, generalist allocators. And they buy gold because gold is bigger, more liquid, and more respected as a choice that no one ever gets fired for. Silver lags. The ratio widens. In the 2020 panic, it blew out past 120. Silver gets left behind, exactly like in Frank's account. Then comes the late stage, and silver doesn't catch up gently. It catches up violently. Go back to 1980. The ratio collapsed towards 17. Go to 2011. It ran down to 32. In both of those final legs, silver's percentage move buried gold's. The metal that lagged the longest delivered the most in the end. Now layer on what I actually see from the dealer side. Central banks have been buying gold by the hundreds of tons, and they don't generally buy any silver. The single largest, most price-insensitive buyer in this entire bull market is structurally gold only. That's a big part of why the ratio is stuck wide at 60 right now. But it also sets the trap door. When investment demand finally rotates toward the cheaper metal, there's a fraction of the float to absorb it. Because here's the supply reality. Silver has run a structural deficit for several years straight. Industrial demand from solar and electronics plus investment demand against mine supply that barely grows. The above ground float that's actually for sale is very thin. Gold can absorb a wall of money. Silver cannot. Not without the price doing the work. That is the asymmetry. So back to Frank. His 2% gold did its job. It's up. But sitting at a 60 ratio with 0 silver, Frank owns the metal that already moved and none of the metal that historically moves next and moves more. His advisor didn't just leave a little on the table. He positioned Frank for the early innings and walked him out before the part of the game where silver does its heavy lifting. And I'm not going to stand here and tell you silver is a free lunch. We all know it's not. It's more volatile than gold. The advisor wasn't lying about that part. The drawdowns are very real and they can be stomach turning. But volatility is the toll you pay for the asymmetry. The wealth preservation portfolios that actually held purchasing power across the last century didn't hold one metal. They held both. So here's what a smart person does about this in their portfolio. 4 moves. Move 1, run a gold to silver ratio audit on your holdings. This weekend, pull your statements, add up the dollar value of your gold and the dollar value of your silver, and divide. Most wealth preservation buyers find they're 100 to 0 or maybe 95 to 5. And not because they ever chose that. If your silver line is 0, that's the bifurcation showing up in your account. Do this before you make any new metals purchase. Now, number 2, benchmark your split against 2 reference points. Central banks hold gold and basically no silver. So if you've been quietly copying the official sector playbook, you're gold heavy by design. That's the right call for a sovereign that needs liquidity and balance sheet optics. But you are not a central bank. The private wealth preservation portfolios that survived the 20th century held both metals. Pick which playbook you're actually running and set a target. A lot of people move from 100 to 0 towards something like 70 to 30 or 60 to 40 gold to silver by value. Now, number 3, establish a starting position in allocated physical silver. Open the position this week. Allocated, physical, in your name or in a segregated storage facility like we have here at Summit Metals. Allocated matters. Unallocated metal is a claim on a bank's pool. Allocated is your specific bar in a rotation. That difference is everything. You don't need to buy the whole target in 1 week. You're buying the ratio, not timing the tick. Start the position now, then average in over the coming months. And finally, number 4, if the silver is going into a retirement account, check eligibility this week. IRA eligible silver has to meet a fineness standard and sit with an approved custodian and depository. Call your custodian on Monday and ask one question. Can this account actually hold allocated physical silver? Many advisor-driven IRAs only offer paper. If yours can't hold real metal, that's the same bifurcation again, this time built into the structure of your plan. Here at Summit Metals, we have IRA specialists who can guide you through this process. So please do give us a call. Now picture Frank a month from now. He ran his ratio, 0 to 100, just like I told you most people find. He didn't panic. He didn't fire his advisor. He just stopped letting one curriculum decide which metals he's allowed to own in his account. He set a target, opened an allocated silver position, and started averaging in. For the first time in 41 years of saving, Frank owns both halves of the trade instead of the half he was handed, almost forced to buy. And I'll tell you where now I sit. After years on the Wall Street side and now pricing physical metal every single day, a ratio at 60 with central banks buying gold and no one buying silver, and silver in a multi-year supply deficit, that is the setup I would want my family positioned for. Not because silver can't fall, of course it can, but because the asymmetry only ever pays the people who already own it when the rotation comes. By the time it's obvious, the ratio's already closed. Gold told you the bull market is real. Silver is where it pays you for being early. Don't let someone else's risk model decide you only get to own the half that's already moved. Gold proved the thesis. Silver is the trade they traded you out of, and it's still on the table. Now, as I mentioned before, the free PDF brief, the ratio chart, the parity targets, and all 4 moves laid out so you can act on them. It's the first link in the description. Download it before you do anything else this week. Quick note before we wrap. This is not investment, legal, or financial advice. Silver is volatile. Talk to a qualified professional before you change anything in your retirement account. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Eric with Summit Metals, and happy stacking.